All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Week two. Good job on your work on the first week of stuff. It's looking good for the most part. I think I was able to read most of it. Um, First off, I know I'm being a little hard on you guys and how you're typing it, the responses, and that's just because as we get more complicated, things are gonna look weirder and different, and I need it's going to be hard for me to read some of your work. So listen, first off, please make sure that you're trying to make your exponents look like exponents using the insert equation. If you don't know how to do this, I'll post a video. Just let me know. Shoot me a message, and I'll post a video or something. Try and help you out. Um, Secondly, if taking a picture of your work is going to be easier for you than typing all of this out, please do. That would actually be great. And that's just make sure you're in the right box, insert image, camera, hold your work up. There's my hand, hey guys. And hit insert once you've taken picture. Make sure it's the correct picture, all right? Please, as we get more into this and it gets more complicated, I am going to send out a survey. I had office hours this week. Not too many people showed up. So if you're having trouble, just stop by, stop in. It's Google Meet. It's not going to be that awkward. Just we'll chat. We'll get you straightened out. And if you have trouble with stuff on your computer, hit me up in Google Meet. You can show me your screen, present your screen, and I'll help you as best I can. All right, guys. All right. Now, something I didn't emphasize as much in the first video is the fact that we have these rules that we are going to use. We learned two of them last week, and I want to make sure to emphasize rules. First one, you have x to the second times x to the third. You just add the exponents. Even though you're multiplying, this is the shortcut to say how can we figure out how many x's we're multiplying? We're multiplying 5 x's. And again, if that doesn't make sense to you, it's like an accordion. Spread it out, put it back together. So spread it out. How many x's? There are 2. There are 3, all being multiplied. Count them all up. Technically, and this is something that some of you guys were missing here, each of these has a 1. So we can add them. We can just add these two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 x's being multiplied. Okay? So when we multiply, and these letters are going to mean something here in a second. When we multiply exponential terms, we add their exponents. All right? Second rule. When we divide exponential terms, this one was also from last week, we just subtract. So 3 minus 2 is x to the, I'll put the 1 there. I'm not going to write the 1 anymore, but 1. And again, if you need to write out like an accordion, spread it out, and then deal with what you have. Now with fractions, it's a little different. You don't just put it together. You don't just add. You're going to cancel. And look what's left. You have your x. So when we divide, we subtract. So now the new rule for the day. The new rule for the day. Pick a different color here. Great. New rule is this. It's going to be an exponent to an exponent. So x squared to the third power. Now this looks a little different. One of the keys is going to be parentheses. Now it's not always, but a lot of times when you see parentheses to an exponent, this is the method you're going to use. So exponent to an exponent means what? M. You're going to multiply. So this little acronym, it's MAD-SEAM. Not really, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. MAD for MAD, SEEM, MAD-SEAM. MA, multiplying, you add the exponents. When you divide, you subtract the exponents. It's just a little acronym. Exponent to exponent means you're going to multiply. So ultimately our answer is x to the 6th. Now, I do want you to watch this part even if that makes sense to you. How many x squareds do we have? As in, how many sets of parentheses do we have here? Think of the parentheses as a pod, all right? That means we have three pods being multiplied. As in, here's a pod, that's 1, times another pod, times another pod. Everything in the parentheses kind of comes together as a pod. And so we have 3 of them being multiplied. Now let's take it even further. In this pod, we have x times another x times another x times x. How many x's do we have in total? 6. So that's how you're getting x to the 6. So when you have an exponent to an exponent, you multiply. So if you need to, and especially as we move forward, MadSeam, I might use that as a reference. All right, there you go. So this is our new rule, and I do believe that's the first problem. I already did it as our example for our rule. So for expanded form, I do want you to think about both steps. Ultimately, if you get confused and you just put the last step, that's fine, but this is what I mean. So let me go ahead and insert equation. And this also, I just realized a trick that you should probably use to make things easier on yourself. So here you go. Here's x squared. Oops. X squared, right? We have 3 of them being multiplied. So rather than type all of that out, highlight this, Control C to copy, and then Control V. 1, 2. Look at that. So instead of typing it all out, you can so now x times, I'm going to highlight, I'm going to do Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. Many times as I want. So there you go. Insert equation again, and it is x to the 6th. So just a little tip there, so that way you don't have to type all of this out. It becomes less of a pain. All right. Now this. So let's do the expanded version first. How many sets of parentheses? How many pods do we have? Well, we have 3 again. So 3 squared times 6 to the 3rd. You're going to have 3 of them written out. All right, and then spread it out even further. You have 2 3s and 3 6s. And you're going to spread all that out. Now I'm going to start typing it. I'm going to switch over and start typing it because it'll be a little bit quicker for you. But once you have that all spread out, 3 equation 3 squared to the 3 squared 6 to the, oops, that's my fault. I keep hitting the wrong buttons at the wrong time. All right, and we have, let's go ahead and do that. Control C, Control V, 3 of them. Good. And then let's go ahead and write this out. And while I'm talking, while I'm doing this, I will continue here. And that is to say then, we have 3 of them. So now all you're going to do is count up. Well, how many 3s do we have? I didn't have to do that. Control V, Control V. How many 3s do I have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 3s. And then how many 6s? There are 3, 6, 9. So you'll just count up how many 3s. 3 to the 6 and 6 to the 9. Now, that right there, 3 to the 6 and 6 to the 9, you can simplify that technically. We can put that in the calculator. We can get the answer, but keep it in exponential form. Keep it like this. All right. For the next one, I don't think I'm going to go to the written. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Here's x, y, z. How many of these, in parentheses, the pod, how many do we have multiplied? Well, let's copy it first. Control C. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And with this one, you don't really even have to write a second step unless you want to put, unless this helps you, you can do x times y times z times x. I'm not going to do that. I know that they're all multiplied together. This is all one long string of multiplication. How many x's do we have? We have 4. I'm going to insert equation. X to the 4th. How many y's? Y to the 4th. And then how many z's? Z to the 4th. And that's it for that one. Now I did want to show you, I guess, one other thing. And again, if you want to write your work and take pictures of it, please do. The easier way to do this, I forgot something here. The easier way to do this one, this will actually be nice to go through both of them and see how nice this is. This 3, if you notice, what we got was we got 3 to the 6th, 9, I'm sorry, 6 to the 9, 3 to the 6th, 6 to the 9. How did we get that? 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. Each of the terms in your parentheses gets the exponent, and it multiplies. So 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. Same thing here. Each of these has that imaginary 1, right? So each of those is multiplied by 4. So there is a pretty quick way to do these without spreading it out. Last one. You can see there's 2 things happening here, 2 things being multiplied. This one, there's no sets of parentheses, no exponent to an exponent. Keep it as it is. Now, how many of each of these parentheses do we have? We have 2 sets. So 2m 3n to the 4, 2m 3n to the 4. And then we could write it out. You got 2m times 2 times m times m times m. Now this is where the shortcut's going to be, or the rule. It's not really a shortcut. You're not cheating anything. There's no real shortcut. But the rule that we came up with that makes it quicker is going to be a lot helpful here, because look at all this. That's a lot going on there. And then you can count it up. There are 3 2s. 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 m's and 8 n's. Hopefully you can see this. The quicker way to do this is going to be, check it out. Let me pick a different color here. This is the second way to do it. 2m squared, keep it as it is. This 2 goes to this 2, goes to the m's, and goes to the n's. So you have 2 squared. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. So those are your exponents, and then just combine from there. There are 3 2's being multiplied. 6 plus 2 is 8. So this is our first rule that we're using. And look at that. That is the same as that. So whichever way you have to do it, do that. If you want to take pictures of your work and put them in the box, I'm not going to waste your time typing this. You can see the typed version here once you look at the worksheet. Other than that, have a good day, guys. Take care.